For many men, being able to split rent with your girl and have some in-house punani sounds dope. But as with anything, there comes a caveat. In their CNBC Make It video, YouTubers Steph and Den mentioned that they live together on a combined income of $100K in Toronto.
I'm 24 years old and I make $58,000 Canadian a year.
My name's Steph. I just turned 24 years old and I make $60,000 Canadian a year.
Combined, we make $118,000 Canadian a year.
And we live in Toronto, Ontario.
Wherein they split the $1,364 per month rent payment right down the middle.
We do live in a pretty small space for downtown Toronto. It's 400 square foot, if that. I think it's pushing it. They call it a one bedroom, but it's more of a bachelor style space. We've been living together for 2 years now and we're planning to continue that.
Now, these two seem to have a good head on their shoulders, and I doubt they'd F each other over financially. But I can't help but feel that their fruitful living arrangement might be the exception rather than the norm regarding cohabitation with someone you're dating.
No, 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 hell no, no!
Warning, warning, warning.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Please note, the following can be applied from the female to male perspective as well, but for the sake of brevity and simplicity, I'll be primarily focused on the male point of view. There are 3 stages to be mindful of: dating prior to moving in together, dating while moving in together, and breakup potential ramifications. Hey yo, buckle in. There's no easy way to break this all down.
It's an evil world we live in, but hey, I'm gonna keep living and loving life.
I'd like to draw your attention to the following phenomenon: new relationship energy, or commonly known as the honeymoon phase, which can last anywhere from 6 months to 2 years of getting to know someone. For the most part, when a guy first sees a girl, he knows whether he just smash or if he sees her as potential wifey material. But I would like to note there's a stark contrast between looking like wifey material and actually being wifey material. You get me? The first year of getting to know someone is when you're most infatuated and enamored with puppy love, you know what I'm saying? And people are typically on their best behavior early on. And it's not until they become comfortable with you or show consistency with a certain action over time that you really get to know the true them. It might be as simple as the fact that maybe you've been dating this person for 9 months and they've never flaked or canceled plans on you. That is pretty impressive. And that shows you and gives you a glimpse into their type of character. You know, I recall this one girl I had been talking to for approximately 7 months or so. And after our little session, you know what I'm saying? A little session. If you know, you know. But she began telling me about nights where she dreamt of jumping off the balcony and had recently been prescribed certain mood-altering substances or medication for her depressive episodes. Shorty was literally crying in my hands, and I feel like at that point, post-nut clarity hit me. No cap.
After we bust a nut, we go from admiring to noticing. Like before sex, I admire my girl's beauty. I'm like, look at this beautiful woman I got right here. I love her. And then as soon as we done, I'm like, yo, I know she won't get past 11 likes on a selfie.
Perhaps y'all have the bandwidth to manage and handle that kind of person. But as for me, as far as relationship is concerned, I don't. Or I don't have the desire to. Now imagine you are committed to this person within 3 or 4 months, and now you weren't aware that this is something that, you know, accompanied their good looks and all that other stuff. So take time and know yourself. Take time and know yourself. During the months leading up to this person being a potential partner, you gotta vet him or her. Essentially, as a man, you gotta ask yourself, is she doing anything for you besides just sleeping with you? For example, does she help you proofread your assignments or your essays? Or let's say she comes over to the crib, but you're still finishing up some work, and while you're working, maybe she's on the couch just chilling on her phone. You might ask her to help you with the dishes because you got bombarded with work earlier and didn't get a chance to do it. Thus, essentially just seeing how receptive she is to helping you. I recall this one girl whom I'm actually still dealing with right now. She had come over one time while I was still working, and I had never ever asked her to do anything like this before. But while waiting for me to finish, she had gone downstairs and washed the dishes without me even asking. And no lies, no cap, bro, I was about to wipe that girl up right then and there. no lies.
I love it. I'm like...
But those are the things you notice about a person over time, especially if they're consistent with certain actions that they did initially. Someone who's been consistent with a certain action for a long period of time demonstrates that that is a part of their character and is not just an act to get you or whatever, right? Perhaps you have a YouTube channel. You might ask her to help reply to comments on your behalf. Or as a woman, you might ask the man you're dating for a little massage post the, love-making session, thus showing he cares for your well-being and is willing to do things for you as well. Or you might notice that rather than communicating and being slow to anger, they have a short fuse and a short tongue. They get irritated very quickly with other people, which ultimately could end up being you once they get used to you. Or you might hear them arguing with their parent on multiple occasions over the phone. And you might prefer taking women seriously for a long-term relationship if they are from a two-parent household where they have no daddy issues. Or as a woman, you might do your best to avoid son husbands. Essentially, the mom uses her son to fill the masculine energy in her life, right? And then she's constantly calling him, always in his business, always trying to, son husband is definitely a thing. Avoiding people with daddy issues and avoiding son husband situations are definitely a real thing, and things that you won't notice until a multitude of months of dating. Perhaps y'all been dating for about 9 to 10 months or so, and y'all are coming up to that 1 year mark. You might be thinking of making her your girl, or you're already in a relationship and are thinking of moving in together.
Don't do it! Just don't do it! Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just don't do it!
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
If you can't do a vacation to a different country, state, or province, you might dabble in a little staycation to a nearby city for the weekend and see if y'all truly vibe in a fixed setting for a prolonged period of time. That's more than just an overnight sleepover. Your tolerance level for each other's company becomes evident during the 1 to 2 hour road trip or the several night Airbnb stay. Are you annoyed? Now, for the moment of truth. There was no way I wasn't gonna address this one. Hygiene.
Start off by putting on deodorant because I didn't shower, so I have to do something. Hi!
Okay, for me, if I don't smell bad after 3 days of not showering, then I'm not gonna shower. But if your fucking brother smells bad 20 minutes after showering and he needs to shower again, then that sounds like it's a personal problem for him. If I don't want to shower more than I have to, then that's okay. That's up to me.
Does she or he struggle to keep their own living space clean when you go over to their place? The washroom and kitchen are most indicative of one's cleanliness. Now, I ain't finna give a whole dissertation on dating. For that, you lot gotta hit up Mr. LeCarrier's YouTube channel for certified dating advice for men. Watching his content is a bona fide way to avoid manipulative time wasters. I mean, morality aside, if you're a Christian or Catholic or whatever it is, this man has a wife, a girlfriend, and is dating. So I think he knows a thing or two about, having a successful long-term relationships. But also, if you're just, on the casual thing, he got you too.
Again, this is what I'm saying. It's a beta male talking point because beta males are the ones who are rushing to wife up a woman. You understand? See, guys who are alphas, guys who are actually the top guys who have game. When a guy who has game wifes up a chick or puts a chick in the position of wife or girlfriend, right? He's properly vetted her. You understand what I'm saying? And he's not vetting her just off of her looking good. He's not vetting her on just the fact of, she hasn't hit the wall yet. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, she still looks like she's 21. Niggas ain't looking at it like that. And see, if you're looking at it like that, you're looking at it as a guy who doesn't really have experience dealing with women. You know what I'm saying? Because what you're doing is that you're jumping the gun and you're trying to rush into a relationship because you're in scarcity. The reason why you're in scarcity is because you don't have the skill or the know-how to get multiple women. So when you find that girl who's that 24, 25-year-old girl who even looked your way and smiled at you, you want to wife this girl up. You start falling in love. You understand what I'm saying? You start making her the end-all be-all of everything. So what happens is that a lot of these guys, they're lusting after the idea of a certain chick, or they're lusting after a particular girl. And so what happens is that their whole existence and their whole fantasy of getting that one special girl hasn't happened for most of these guys. So what happens is like they're saying, damn, all these girls that I want don't want me. So fuck these hoes. I can't wait till they hit the wall.
Or if you're a female watching, you gotta hit up Mr. LaCar's Woman channel to better understand not only what you need to attract, but also keep a high value man, so to speak, or Henry, you know, a high earner, not rich yet. Seeing as most men don't hit their financial peak until their mid to late 30s. You know what I find funny is that a lot of these red pill, MGTOW, and incel channels got a lot of men scared of marriage and relationships with women. And you know, there is some truth to that. But I ain't afraid to get married because I know if my wife-to-be and I were to get divorced, she would have earned her 50%. Cause if you're smart, she would have had a vital part in making you a lot of money, ideally. A perfect example of this is that I recall a time where I had these AirPods that my brother had given me, but I realized I wasn't really using them. So I decided to sell them. So rather than doing the work all myself, you know, the girl I'm currently talking to, the same one that washed the dishes, you know, we're getting there. But I sent her pictures of the AirPods and asked her to post it on Kijiji, or the equivalent of that is Craigslist, for me. Right, so she dealt with all the people asking questions about the product, messaging her and stuff like that, and ultimately she helped me sell the AirPods for about $160, and I gave her $50. Right, so you see how she's helping me have less stress, you know, the dishes, make me more money with selling the AirPods, stuff like that. She should be doing more for you than just smashing you. Okay, if you actually want to see if she's, you know, wifey material, so to speak. All aboard! Stage number 2, dating while moved in together.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Now, if you waited a year before making things official and making her your girl, you at the very least should not be annoyed by her mere presence or by the things she does, because you're kind of used to it by now. Especially while with her for an extended period of time. So, to reiterate, Shombo, wait about a year to make her your girlfriend. Or wait about a year to jump into making him become your boyfriend. And I say about 3 years before moving in together. Better yet, if you don't see yourself marrying her within 1 to 2 years, you may as well keep things separate and have your own places. Because once you move in together, at some point, the two of y'all become legally tied together. More on that later. Now, for the most part, a girl gets what she wants when y'all move in together, which is your non-sexual attention. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry. Why? Because she not only gets to sleep with you, but also gets the benefit of your ongoing company. While dating, there's a breaking point, a mating dance, so to speak.
Now, I tell you what, I like you and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
A man truly knows a woman is interested when she becomes physical with him, in the form of kissing and you know, like a love-making session, if you know what I mean. Man's not trying to get demonetized out here. Whereas a woman truly knows that a guy is interested in her after physical intimacy, and how he interacts with her after the novelty of the cookie, quote unquote, wears off.
In fact, all cookies, very important to me. They mean a lot to me, but they mean much more to me tummy. Cowabunga! Cookies!
And this leads us to the following question. Does moving in together move out sex? Get it? Moving in, move out? Come on. Come on. Give it to me. Laugh. If for nothing else, laugh out of pity. Thank you.
Oh, dab on them.
And this Reddit user describes these phenomenon pretty eloquently. I think moving in together is the second biggest bedroom killer after kids. Other folks have listed a bunch of great reasons why living together can kill the bedroom fun. But here's what I think the main reason is. It's the end of scheduled cess. Scheduled cess. Yup, I use that for some reason. Dreaded term. When you're dating, you end up having lots of scheduled cess. You don't call it that or think of it as that, but that's essentially what it is. You make arrangements to meet up for eating, drinking, hiking, whatever, and typically cess is part of the agenda. You may not see them for a few days, so you gotta make sure you have cess while you're together, right? Moving in completely changes the whole dynamic. You see each other every day, so there's no urgency. Nothing driving you to have cess on any particular day. No cess today? No problem. We live together, so we'll have plenty of other opportunities. But then days go by, or weeks, or longer.
Cuz I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm angry. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do.
So, you might ask each other how often you want to get physically intimate, or simply look at your current pattern and make an intentional commitment to plan 2 or 3 joint activities together in a given week, which have the, extracurricular activities after the main activity, if you know what I mean. As a woman, whether just dating or living together, relationship success comes down to the 3 S's of femininity: silence or peace, sandwich, and cess. And Bill Burr breaks this down pretty sweetly.
Right? The great thing about men is we're fucking simple. We're fucking simple, okay? So here's the thing right here. You want to make a guy happy? If you're with a good guy, okay, that's all you got to do, okay? How about 4 times a year? Once a season. You go out to the kitchen without him saying shit. You go out to the kitchen, you make a sandwich, you get him a beer, you walk out, you give it to him, you don't say a word, and you just fucking leave. That's all you got to do. Every 3 months, you do that, you'll keep him happy. That's all it takes. Now, I know right out of the gate, this is coming off sexist, right? It's because I'm saying go out in the kitchen, make your man a sandwich. I'm not saying women belong in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, rubbing my balls. I'm not saying that. Okay? I'm just saying women, go in the kitchen. Just go in the kitchen 4 times in a year. Make a sandwich. A toddler could do that. Just put it together. Grab 2 slices of pre-made, pre-sliced bread, 2 handfuls of pre-murdered meat, put a little mustard on it, grab a beer, walk out, just hand it to him, don't say shit, and then fucking leave. And when I say leave, I mean leave. I don't mean walk into another room for like 10 minutes and then stick your head back and just be like, did you like it? Was it good? Great. Because downstairs, we need to, don't yell at me, I just made you a sandwich.
As a man, to keep your woman, you have to do the things you initially did to get her in the first place. Plan dates together, but also be busy with your own life. Whether it's taking up martial arts, swimming lessons, joining a recreational basketball or soccer league, do things that recreate the time apart that you initially had before moving in together. And as they say, distance makes the heart grow fonder.
And I need you. And I miss you.
Mandem, you gotta do a little dirty talk to keep the sexual tension high, spin her around one day, slap her butt, and overall, just don't get complacent. At the end of the day, all relationships end. Either you guys break up or one of you dies. Somber, I know. So, you took the big plunge, but that comes with the following breakup consequences. Many of you lot know this feeling all too well. Not me though. Be easy.
Yeah, it'll be good for my vocals.
Sorry, man.
I'm gonna tickle you again.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me, though.
Just know that breaking up with someone is infinitely more difficult when you live together. And this situation is prevalent all throughout Reddit and Quora answer forums. Not to bore y'all with too much text, but essentially, she's been with her boyfriend for 2 years and she wants to break up with him, but they have 9 months left on their lease. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Why would you do this to yourself?
I don't understand why you even did this to yourself. This made you look so fucking stupid. This shit make you look so stupid.
Always, 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 always. You gotta plan for the worst, but expect the best. The perfect mix of optimism and pessimism. If y'all broke up, would you be able to handle the remaining months of rent by yourself without needing her income? Would the landlord allow you to break the lease at a minimal cost and find a new tenant, or at the very least, sublet? Again, this can be applied from the female to male perspective as well, but for the sake of brevity and simplicity, I'm focused on the male perspective. Okay? You gotta ask yourself, is her employment situation stable? Does she have an emergency fund of at least, say, 2 to 3 months worth of expenses, so that in the event that she lost her job, she would still have the money to pay rent for the next couple months as she seeks new employment? These are the hard-hitting questions before you get yourself financially tied to someone, especially when you add love and feelings into the mix. Ayo, word on the street is that there are plenty of hobosexuals running around, lurking. And what is it, you ask? Well, let me inform you. It's essentially someone who dates you for the sole purpose of having somewhere to stay. You know, they need somewhere to sleep.
You were a homosexual. You were basically in a relationship to prevent being homeless.
I didn't have a car. I didn't have a place, man, but I could sling dick. And I knew if I did it right, I was going to end up in a place. You know what I mean? Whether, you know, I just had to do it right. I had to use what I had. You know what I mean? And I had nothing but that. But it worked out. You know what I mean? And everybody was paid back. Shout out to everybody who made this possible. Your dreams, you know.
Okay.
You know, I recall a time that I had moved out of my apartment, but hadn't found a new place to my liking in time. So I had left my stuff at my friend's place and was couch surfing for, you know, a couple months. During that time period, I'd go on dates, but I soon realized I had no real place to take these ladies to. So one of my qualifying questions when cold approaching a girl at the mall, grocery store, via social media, and through text was essentially, do you have roommates? There was no point linking a shorty if she lived with her parents, or at least until I was officially moved into my own crib. No cap though, I recall a time where I ended up staying at this one girl's crib for like a week straight. No lies.
You're kidding, right?
That bed was so comfy, I wasn't really trying to go back to the couch for a while, you know what I'm saying? Like, my man was like, oh, I haven't seen you, Owolabby, I haven't seen you like a week. Did you move out? Your stuff is still here. After it was all said and done, it took me about 3 months to find my own spot. But as you can see, depending on their living situation, they might have a financial incentive to move in with you, live with you, especially if you are the main person on the hook for the lease and it's not in their name. You know what I'm saying? But you think that they'll give you the money under the table. So, financially speaking, if rent is say $1,000, but when you lot split it, it's $500 each. She should have, let's say, $1,000 to maybe $3,000 saved up in her savings account for emergencies that she can use for her portion of rent during her job loss and as she seeks new employment. The whole, I'll pay you back next month if you get me this month, doesn't quite set a good standard and can leave you in a precarious position financially. Let alone the built-up resentment of not getting your money back in a timely manner. And I'm sure you and I have had situations where lending out money ended up backfiring on you.
It's a panoramic. We need our money. We need it now.
Also, you gotta ask yourself, what's her credit like? Is the rent lease being approved primarily a result of your own personal credit worthiness? Or would she be able to get the place as well if you weren't there? All of this sounds very personal, right? Getting to know their finances, getting to know their money and their savings, their credit. But what can be more personal than being inside somewhere? Not to be overly vulgar, but yeah. Oh, and just a public service announcement. Living in the Airbnbs on long-term Airbnb stays is a potential option for those who are currently in the middle of improving their credit, right? The Airbnb will allow you to stay in a decent place and get housing, given the fact that it's based on current available money as opposed to your credit as well. Having credit under 620 typically results in poor housing prospects to live in, at least in a good environment or good neighborhood. However, there's one more elephant in the room that we have yet to address, and it's a big one. Common law, union, and partnerships, and palimony. Yes, palimony. In Ontario, Canada, it goes as follows: for continuous cohabitation of two people for more than 3 years.
I wanted to ask you, a buddy of mine had just moved in with his gal, and he was wondering, I'm wondering actually, if when he would have, when he gets legal obligation over her,
okay.
What time period would that?
So when people don't marry, if they live together continuously for more than 3 years, there is a spousal support potential obligation. She would have the right on separation to claim spousal support. If they live together for 3 years less a day, she does not.
Really?
3 years or 3 years and more, she does. So that 3-year magic date is very important. Or if they live together in any type of relationship of permanence as a result of which they have a child together, there's an automatic spousal support obligation that can arise, and there's obviously a child support obligation. Property is a little more complicated. When you're not married, there are no automatic rights or entitlement to property. The mere fact that you live together does not generate a property obligation unless you buy things in joint names or put them in joint names. But the big concern is 3 years continuous cohabitation. That gives rise to a potential spousal support obligation. The way to avoid it, cohabitation agreement that says, despite the passage of 3 years, no spousal support. Sign that before they start to live together, not the day before the 3 years, not sign this or you have to move out. That's called duress. Full financial disclosure, proper independent legal advice.
Wherever you're currently living, the UK, Mandam, Yaldam, Yula, New York, Cali, or whatever else, get familiar with 2 words when commingling and cohabitating with somebody: prenup and cohabitation agreement. Talk to a family lawyer before moving in with a man or woman you are dating. Now, I know you've heard of alimony, aka spousal support, but have you heard of her cousin, palimony?
I don't know, 2-3 days, not important. I don't need sleep. I need answers. I need to determine where in this swamp of unbalanced formulas squatteth the toad of truth.
Palimony is essentially a form of financial support available to 2 people who are unmarried but formally live together as a cohabitating couple. Let's go across the pond to the UK and see what goes on there.
I'm sitting on a bad boy piece of information. Do you understand? A bad boy piece of...
According to a UK news article by The Guardian, under the plans, people who live together outside marriage should be able to claim lump sums, a share of property including the family home, regular maintenance, so spousal support or palimony, or a share of their partner's pension when they split up. The claims would not be automatic as it would be with marriage. Individuals would have to prove either that they had suffered a significant financial disadvantage from the relationship or that their partner had gained a significant financial advantage. So, there's that. And as far as the US is concerned, the US of A, 22 states don't recognize or enforce palimony for cohabitating couples through the court system. Those states are Alabama, Connecticut, Arkansas, Georgia, Columbia, District of Columbia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Kansas, Maine, Massachusetts, Missouri, New Hampshire, Michigan, Mississippi, New Jersey, South Carolina, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Nebraska, West Virginia, and Tennessee. If you don't live there, you could be on the hook. Now, unlike in Canada, I was hard-pressed to find a specific number that qualifies one for palimony. But the general consensus seems to be that the longer the 2 of y'all stay together, more likely they are to be awarded some type of financial compensation. So, hit up your local family law office and see what go on with that cohabitation agreement. Now, as a male or female watching this, I have likely saved you thousands of dollars. The least you can do is like the video. And while you're here, you can watch my past video right here on how you can rent with bad credit by living in long-term Airbnb stays, or watch my other video right here on how you can edit reaction style videos on your iPhone. No other equipment needed, no laptop needed, so that you can ultimately make some passive income online through YouTube videos. Look at me, Samaritan, helping you save money and also make some more money. So watch that video as well. As always, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it, and too much of any good thing is good for nothing. How you lot doing today? Say it with me, say it with me, say it with me. I'm doing more, saying less, and keeping that same energy. No cap. Flip the script, I'm out. Deuces.
Do you really wanna be with me? That's a question. We can walk away right now and use it as a lesson. We can let it go and use it as a lesson. Lord knows when I found you, it was a blessing.